Hi everyone, I'm going to react to Log Horizon Season 2, Episode 6, Lost Child at Dawn. And last episode, it seems like it seems like Akatsuki for sure died last episode, and it seems like Shiroi also did. Shiroi and Naosugu, because they were both sort of like in a blast zone while the raid was going on. So yeah, seems like all three of them died. The serial killer, Embert, it was revealed that this Embert person was people of the land, especially a people associated with the Kudia clan, and that he stole one of the Guardian's armor or whatever, and this armor is powered by this magical circle in the city that gives it like an enormous amount of power. So because of that, this dude is like super strong. Even when they attack him, his HP doesn't really affect his HP. So it's like he's really overpowered in the city. I don't know how they're gonna defeat him, but yeah, that's where we were last episode. And before we get into this one, if you guys have my reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and please consider supporting my Patreon. Patreon.com/Philomene. And now let's start this episode. Here we go. Okay guys, in case the reaction gets blocked and I had to cut out the reaction itself, you can just look in the pinned comments in the comment section where for the link to the reaction highlight itself, so you can just click on it, watch it, and then you just come back for my review. Oh yeah, and then Sojiro told her about the teachings. This is the first time I'm seeing someone experience when someone dies in the show. That's exactly what they experienced. They've never shown that. They just showed them like showing up at the cathedral or wherever. So it'd be nice to see how the process is. Just that I pass. Keep going back to the first season opening of Naosugu doing this. Oh yeah, this Cassie said he was probably in the sewers. Did they injure him? Did he suffer a great amount of damage? I knew he was the one that she was about to say last. Humility? Akatsuki, you're waking up. That's the real word. Are we gonna see her in the real world? How she looked like? It looks like she looked basically the same. I was about to say that those stairs seem endless. Well, I said this is where she's gonna see Shiroi, right? If I remember correctly. And the first episode. Mm-hmm. She thinking this is a dream. She waking up? Oh, memory? Why are they cutting their hair? I don't get it. What was that about? Okay. Oh, they're together on Christmas Eve, even though they're dead. And he did. Oh, hi, cutie. Cathedral. What is it? Henrietta. Oh, I love this. The fact that she's asking for help. Oh, hi. Not alone. Hmm. Now you understand. To come out of this church to start as a middle schooler. Is he a middle school? She a middle schooler in real life? Is he trying to tell you something? Oh, flavor test. Thank you. I forgot who explained what that is to me. Let me see if I can find the YouTube comment. Hmm? Oh, okay. Hmm. Ah, they explained it, but it does. Huh. Why are they kneeling? Or maybe that's part of the reason why he told her to stay behind. He finally said it. She lost. What? Krusty disappeared. Died. I don't know. What the freak. Okay, yeah, I was about to mention. Garrett Quimby had left a comment on my season 2 episode 4 reaction of Log Horizon, explaining what the flavor text was. As I believe in that episode there was Nyanta and what's his name, the guy that was giving the conference or whatever, and they were talking about how he was creating these items, and then Nyanta asked about the flavor text, and I'm like, well, what the heck is the flavor text? And Garrett Quimby gave me the explanation that is something that explains where the weapon or the item came from, but that it doesn't really affect anything in the game. But then in this episode they said that some flavor texts are affecting stuff, so I'm like, that I'm pretty sure that's what happened when it comes to Krusty at the end there. What was it, Sansa? She has this weapon that was called Disaster, I believe that's what Krusty said. And then this weapon was acting weird at times, and she mentioned that the flavor text didn't exactly was explain where this weapon came from or whatever. So it's like she doesn't really know a lot about the weapon, I guess. So when he started doing that, at first, when the weapon was called Disaster, right? And I'm like, okay, when he was vibrating and glowing, I'm like, okay, is it telling them that there's a disaster coming or something? That's where my mind was going, but I really didn't know. So at the end there, when they were there, and then Krusty found this broken spear, I think, and he said that this was a training ground, and sometimes like goblins usually don't train, and then the thing started doing the thing again. I'm like, okay, is he reacting to the fact that there was, I don't know, like the broken spear is that what's activating it again? But I can't tell. And then the thing started like spinning. It was, I don't know, was it about to kill Sansa? I have no clue, but Krusty wasn't about to let it happen, and he pulled her out of it, or pushed her out, and then he was stuck in there. And clearly he was hurting, the way the thing was acting on him, like he was hurting, and then Sansa pulled her hand in there trying to help Krusty out, like get him out, and then Krusty disappeared. I really don't believe that Krusty died. Like I don't. Disappeared, and then her arm also was like cut in half, basically. I feel like the thing spinning and whatever was like a transporting device, like a spatial transporting kind of stuff. Like it transported him someplace. And since her arm was also in the circle, her arm was also, it was cut, and he transported with him. I just don't know where they're gonna land, because I really don't believe that he's dead. Because I feel like Krusty is such a major character, and I don't see him like dying like that. If he was during a battle, against this amazing enemy, and he did everything that he possibly could to kill this enemy, and then he died in the process, then I'd be like, okay. But nah, I don't think he's dead. And I believe that was Sansa calling Rize, because both of them are part of Krusty's league guild. So that was probably her calling Rize to tell her that, what happened to Krusty. So there was that. And then this episode, they were basically showing, I guess, what people go through when they die in the game. Because when Akatsuki died, at first they were showing her like in the real world, among like at a crossroad, a bunch of people around, and then they started pushing her around, and then she was like running up these infinite stairs, and then the stairs sort of like broke off, disappeared. Now she was at this beautiful lake, and that's when she found Shiroi. Excuse me. That was basically the scene that happened at the end of the first episode of this season. Shiroi died, and he also showed up there. And I feel like when he said, when Akatsuki said that she feels like Shiroi showed up at the lake because she wanted to see him, I feel like there's a truth to that, because I really believe that Akatsuki also died during that raid, that explosion that happened. I really believe that he died because him and Shiroi were together when that happened. So if he did die, then why didn't he also showed up where Akatsuki was, where Shiroi was? So I feel like what she said is true. And then when they were there, something happened where it felt like this crystal armor around Akatsuki that just sort of broke off and then went up there. And I'm like, okay, is that her losing her memory of something? Because that's what happened when you die in this game. You lose a memory. And yeah, they felt like all those shards that were floating around during that lake scene was the memory that the adventurers had to give back in order to come back to life. So those were what that was about. And during their conversation, Akatsuki said that she was on the verge of discovering something when she died, and that she has to go back and take care of that, I guess. And Shiroi was like, he needs to go back to finish, the raid. He said something about him not trusting his the people that he was doing the raid with, and I guess it makes sense because he doesn't really know them, even though they've been doing this. I don't know. Maybe he's also trying to shoulder everything by himself. Oh yeah, he does that a lot. He's trying to shoulder everything by himself, just like Akatsuki was trying to shoulder everything by herself, not really communicating with the others. That just when they were together, she would leave. Maybe like she had something to do, So yeah, then they both woke up. Well, we didn't see Shiroi's part of it, but Akatsuki woke up at the cathedral. When she got out, all the others were there waiting for her. And that's when she asked for all of the help. And I'm like, okay, I much prefer this than what you were doing during this last few episodes. Because she was just like sulking by herself, and I wasn't liking that. So she finally came out and asked for their help and asked for their teachings, for them to help. Yeah, for the teachings. And apparently there's like 8 teachings or something with the DDD guild or something like that. Totally not sure exactly what the teachings are. Because when Sojiro and I know it's this like upper level of skill, ability, or something or other. But then when Sojiro and Akatsuki were fighting against what's his name, Ember, and Sojiro was giving out his teachings, it was just basically like words to live by, sort of kind of thing. So I'm like, how is that supposed to help you when it comes to your skills? And I guess if they were to bring all those teachings together and they were to read it out to me, then I'm like, oh, so that's what's gonna get you to this upper, level. But for now, I'm like, I don't really know how those are gonna help. But they agreed to help her, and they were apologizing, both her and Lenesia, like they were on the ground, kneeling. I'm like, even the princess is kneeling, and Lenesia told them that Ember was the people of the land and all that, and they were like, so you thought that you could take care of this by yourself? Like, really? They're like, yeah, I'm sorry. So now they asked for help, and then they're gonna help us. So I'm like, okay, that's good. And Akatsuki was telling them about how this, but Ember was using this particular sword, this particular weapon that she was eyeing when she went to the weapons shop. She noticed it, and she was also, I don't know, basically giving the information about Ember that they didn't know. And then, what was it? Marielle, yeah, she was by herself over there. She was sulking, basically, or worrying, because she hasn't received the call from Naosugo yet, and she felt that something was wrong. That's why I said that I feel like that I was sure that Naosugo also died, and that's why he didn't call her at the appointed time. They showed Ember in the sewers, and he's like those damn adventurers. So I feel like Sojiro and Akatsuki, like, they made a dent when it comes to the fighting, even though both died. I feel like Ember got hurt in the process. I just don't know how hurt. So there's that, and then there's the what's his name? The guy that was the leader of the. Did I write it down? The guy that was talking to Nyata, whose guild was crafting all these items and stuff, and they talked about the flavor text. And then he showed up, and he's like, okay, he was talking about the differences between, like, if you, like, in real world, you might be a man, but in the show, in the game, you might choose, like, a female character, and that your voice becomes more feminine as time goes along. And then they said that also the world was expanding, that as time goes on, the distance between a particular point to another particular point is expanding little by little. And then there's the flavor text, that you usually think that it doesn't affect anything, but some are affecting stuff. So that's happening. And then they're like, the apocalypse is not over. So yeah, I don't know where all of this is going, but it's certainly interesting to see all these things happening. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this reaction, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and if you want to see my reaction to the next episode, you can do so by checking out my Patreon at patreon.com/FilaMini, and you can also see the full length for this reaction there as well. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.